Alright, hello everyone, it's Jared again, back with another video. And today I just wanted to bring to your attention this article that I came across a few days ago that really disturbed me. I find it just so disturbing. I mean, the state of this country when it comes to freedom of speech is constantly being eroded and clamped down by the government and by the far left. Sooner or later, we will lose our freedom to speak and to express our thoughts. It almost feels like the UK is slowly becoming a sort of dystopian nightmare, as if George Orwell's 1984 has come into reality. A man was arrested for praying silently in his head. Now, this happened back in November 2022, so this was 2 years ago. Still relevant. Why? Because he's just been charged on the 16th of October. That's about two weeks ago. Right. You ready for this? So, Mr. Adam Smith Connor was found guilty at Bournemouth Magistrates Court of violating a so-called buffer zone around an abortion clinic. Now, you heard that right, outside of an abortion clinic. I know it gets a bit dicey around these kinds of abortion clinic areas, and there's a lot of sensitivity going on. In the past, there were a lot of people who used to protest outside of abortion clinics for these kind of abortion practices. Okay, so I can see why there's controversy around this. But anyways, let's read on. It says, although Mr. Adams Connor was praying silently, the court ruled that he had manifested disapproval of abortion, quotation marks, by clasping his hands and bowing his head. Unbelievable. Magistrates imposed a conditional discharge of 2 years and ordered Mr. Smith Connor to pay prosecution costs of £9,000. Can you believe it? So you get fined £9,000 for praying silently in your head. How do they know that he was praying? Did you ask them? Did you investigate? Did you inquire about his actions and his thoughts? How do you know in his head that he was praying? Afterwards, a Conservative MP denounced the conviction, saying it is disgraceful that in Britain, in 2024, someone can be put on trial for praying silently in his head. Unfortunately, we have seen repeated cases of free speech under threat in the UK when it comes to the expression of Christian beliefs. To offer a prayer silently in the depths of your heart cannot be an offence. The government must clarify urgently that freedom of thought is protected as a basic human right. Well, we no longer have that human right here. As we can see, this man is suffering in a cell for 2 years, convicted for praying silently. Adams has spoken out as well. That cannot be right. All I did was pray to God in the privacy of my own mind, and yet I stand convicted as a criminal. He's a criminal in the eyes of the government, in the eyes of the police, in the eyes of the public. I served for 20 years in the Army Reserves, including a tour in Afghanistan, to protect the fundamental freedoms that this country is built upon. I'll continue that spirit of service as a healthcare professional and church volunteer. Okay, so this guy has some positive history that he's contributed to society, and it troubles me greatly, he says, to see our freedoms eroded to the extent that thought crimes are now being prosecuted in the UK. We can hardly sink any lower in our neglect of basic fundamental freedoms of free speech and thought. This is the thing. The government doesn't support our right to free speech. It's being demonstrated by this man that's suffering prosecution under this policy that's being created around this buffer zone that's being created outside of these abortion clinics around England and Wales, across all of the United Kingdom. And you can see that the police are getting busy with their hands, arresting people and convicting them for praying silently. Meanwhile, out on the streets, there's knife crime, there's robbery, there's theft, Tesco shops being looted, Asda being looted, cars being stolen every single day, mobile phones being snatched from pedestrians walking on the street. What is going on? This is clearly an utter negligence coming from the government and coming from the police. They're supposed to represent us. It says here, Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council spent £90,000 prosecuting Mr. Smith Connor after he was questioned by police officers on the quotation marks, nature of his prayers outside the facility in November of 2022. Just totally out of control. It's unacceptable. And it's especially offensive for us Christians. Now, during the trial, the defense contended that the defendant's prayerful thoughts and the fact that he held certain beliefs and opinions could not in themselves amount to a crime, particularly when he stood peacefully and silently on a public street. Mr. Smith-Conner did not outwardly manifest his prayer by kneeling, by speaking, or holding any signs. He made every effort to be out of the line of sight of the abortion facility, positioned, hiding behind a tree with his back to the facility, and did not engage with any other person. That's the thing, he's not bothering anybody. He's not affecting anyone. He's not picking a fight with anyone. He's just praying silently in his head. That's what he's convicted for. Not for violence, okay? Not for shouting hurtful, mean words. None of that. The council was one of just 5 local authorities to independently implement buffer zones around abortion clinics. So, by implementing these buffer zones and threatening a maximum penalty of £1,000 to anyone who harasses clients or staff or stages a public protest. So your right, basically your right to public protest, or even your right to just stand there and do nothing, say nothing, just think in your head, is considered an offence. It is illegal in the eyes of the government to do this outside of an abortion clinic. The abortion clinic isn't even part of this discussion. Whether or not you agree or disagree isn't even relevant to this argument. The point is that this man was prosecuted for thoughts in his head. This is what we call thought crime, and it's real. It's in the UK. It's happening as we speak. We've just witnessed what is happening. It says here, the UK government has decided to impose buffer zones around all abortion clinics in England and Wales from the end of this month. The new legislation, contained in Section 9 of the Public Order Act 2023, criminalises a range of activities within a 150-metre perimeter of an abortion facility. Right, so all our taxes that we pay out of our pocket goes to this nonsense. Right, so within a 150-metre perimeter of an abortion facility, such activities potentially include prayer, thought, peaceful presence. Okay, let's start again. Right, such activities include prayer, thought, peaceful presence. What the bloody hell? It gets worse as we go along. Consensual communication and offers of practical support to women in vulnerable situations, should any of these be deemed to influence or interfere with access to the clinic. Guys, it's getting serious now in the UK. We are not living in a free society anymore in the United Kingdom in 2024. Freedom of speech, gone. No longer there. One of the spokesperson from the Catholic Church says, there is no place for George Orwell's thought police in 21st century Britain. Our culture is shifting towards a clampdown on viewpoint diversity, with Christian thoughts and prayer increasingly under threat of censorship. Right, after Miss Vaughan Spruce's mistreatment, former Conservative Home Secretary Suella Braverman wrote to every police force to clarify that silent prayer was not a criminal offence. Well done. Bravo, Suella Braverman, for speaking up for us, for speaking the truth about this. Well, it's a shame you're part of the wrong political party, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, I'm just going to end this video and let you guys do some more research on this, because this is absolutely ridiculous. Right? Arrested for silent prayer in the UK outside of an abortion clinic in 2024. Let me hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.